Sometimes an athlete's choices are so reckless and selfish that they don't just damage their reputation. They threaten the very stability of the league itself. The WNBA is currently grappling with the aftermath of one of the most startling mid-season collapses in recent memory. Sources close to the league indicate that the WNBA may now be forced to implement an unprecedented measure, informally being called the Bonner Rule, as a response to a crisis triggered by one of its veteran players. The idea that a single player's behavior could necessitate the creation of a new rule seems unimaginable. But that is the situation the league faces. To grasp why the WNBA is on the verge of institutionalizing one player's infamy, you must first understand the scale of the betrayal at the heart of it. Dana Bonner, a 16-year veteran and future Hall of Famer, was signed by the Indiana Fever to serve one key purpose: to mentor the most highly anticipated rookie in sports, Caitlin Clark. Clark herself praised Bonner, calling her a generous and inspiring leader. As a second-year point guard, I want to win for her. This is the final chapter of her career. She deserves it, Clark said. The storyline seemed perfect, a seasoned champion guiding a young superstar. But reality on the court was grim. Bonner struggled in her 9 games with the Fever, averaging just 7.1 points and shooting a career-low 34.5%, a shadow of her prior performance. Within 3 games, coach Stephanie White had to remove her from the starting lineup, a devastating blow to a veteran who had been a starter since 2012. Rather than fighting to improve or mentoring her teammates, Bonner chose to quit entirely, abandoning both her team and Caitlin Clark amid intense media scrutiny. She requested a release, which the Fever granted. But this was not a standard trade request. It revealed a dangerous loophole in the league structure. What made this so unprecedented was the method. Unlike previous stars who held out to force trades, such as Sylvia Fowles in 2015 or Lee Wero earlier this season, Bonner quit mid-season in a way designed to provide her no benefit to the team, leaving the Fever with nothing but an empty roster spot. Reports suggest she and her camp engaged in deliberate waiver manipulation, creating a situation that shook the league to its core. The purpose of this audacious maneuver was reportedly to manipulate the system by instructing other teams not to claim her off waivers, ensuring she would become an unrestricted free agent. That status would allow her to sign a low-cost, prorated veteran contract with her preferred team, the Phoenix Mercury. This was not just leaving a team. It was allegedly a coordinated scheme to circumvent league rules for personal gain, disregarding the investment Indiana Fever had made in her. This selfish strategy now threatens the league's smallest franchises, which rely on contract integrity to maintain competitive balance. Teams like the Fever cannot always compete with big market allure, but contracts guarantee roles and financial commitments. Bonner's actions undermine this foundation, signaling to players that breaking contracts and exploiting loopholes is permissible. The Fever invested a near-max salary in Bonner to strengthen their roster and support Caitlin Clark. Her departure transformed that investment into a total loss and potentially set a blueprint for others, risking league stability. The reaction from fellow players has been telling. In professional sports, teammates often unite during disputes with management. But after Bonner's exit, there was complete silence from her peers, a tacit condemnation of her actions. The WNBA is now considering a formal Bonner Rule to prevent such scenarios. This rule would likely impose harsh financial penalties on any player quitting mid-season, including forfeiture of remaining salary, signing bonuses, or future playoff shares. It would also directly tackle potential waiver manipulation, triggering league investigations when suspicions arise. Severe consequences such as fines, suspensions, or even draft pick losses would remove any incentive to cheat the system, protecting the integrity of contracts and league balance. Introducing such a rule forces the WNBA to navigate a delicate balance at the core of modern professional sports: player empowerment versus league integrity. Athletes today rightly have more control over their careers, but the Bonner case raises the question, where is the line? When does self-advocacy cross into entitlement? When does pursuing your own interests become a reckless abandonment of professional duties that impacts an entire league? The WNBA and the Players Association now face the challenging task of protecting the contracts that are the backbone of the league without stripping players of their rights. Adding complexity, this situation carries a deeply personal dimension. Dana Bonner's ultimate destination, the Phoenix Mercury, is the team of all-star forward Alyssa Thomas, publicly known as Bonner's fiancée. This is more than a simple trade. It appears, according to widespread speculation, that Bonner may have used the Indiana Fever as a stepping stone to reunite with Thomas. Rumors suggest Bonner signed her lucrative $200,000 contract with no real intention of staying, collecting paychecks and media attention while waiting for the Mercury to clear salary space for a bargain signing. The intricate financial maneuvering required only highlights the calculated nature of the move. The league must now consider rules not only about quitting or waiver manipulation, but also about situations where personal relationships might influence player movement in ways that threaten contract integrity and competitive balance. Ultimately, Dana Bonner did land in Phoenix, but at a significant cost. Her Hall of Fame legacy has been tarnished, and she faces accusations of scheming to manipulate the system. She is now remembered not as a champion, but as the player who abandoned Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. The WNBA's response is no longer optional, it is essential. Her legacy, whether she likes it or not, will be tied forever to the crisis she created and the rule likely to bear her name. The repercussions go beyond one player's reputation. Bonner's actions threaten the league's brand at a time of unprecedented growth, driven largely by the Caitlin Clark phenomenon. After her exit, Bonner attempted to control the narrative with a defiant Instagram post, portraying herself as a victim wronged by the Fever. But the message fell flat, vague, contradictory, and easily overshadowed by the facts. She was benched for poor performance, quit after 9 games, abandoned the league's biggest star, and forfeited over $120,000. Public perception was unforgiving, and her attempts at justification failed. This damage will follow her long after her playing career, potentially affecting future coaching or broadcasting opportunities. The greater problem, however, is the threat to the league itself. The WNBA is experiencing explosive growth, with millions of new fans drawn in by Caitlin Clark. Bonner's unprofessional conduct sends a destabilizing signal, risking the league's image as a competitive, stable organization. Moreover, the move was not guaranteed to be smooth. The Mercury reportedly had reservations about bringing in Bonner, whose arrival required cutting a player from a cohesive, high-performing roster. Sources suggest Alyssa Thomas's influence may have tipped the scales, prioritizing personal relationships over team strategy. Bonner's actions created uncertainty not only for Indiana, but potentially for Phoenix, introducing a risk to team chemistry and competitive balance. The evidence against her is clear. She underperformed, was benched, quit, and allegedly manipulated the waiver system to secure a move. The league cannot ignore such behavior. The Bonner rule, though unofficial for now, will likely establish strong deterrents, fines, suspensions, and contractual regulations to prevent future abuses. It will permanently define the boundary between legitimate player empowerment and professional chaos. The story now rests with public opinion. Should the WNBA create this rule, or was Bonner justified in forcing her way out?